There's a party in the hood and it's going up. There's a party in the hood and it's going up. There's a party in the hood.
What's going on, everybody? This is a No Matter What show. It's not a podcast. I'm Day. To my right, Big Rico the barber.
Rico!
To his right, my girl, Big Mama Tyra. To her right, Big B. And our special guest we got tonight is no other than Johnny from Johnnie Fresco. Shout out to you. Stacks in the building as well. Shout out Stacks.
Make sure to keep me safe past my bedtime.
Talk to him. Tell him, how you jumped in the game and where you started at.
Oh, man. Whew. I started where I'm at now, man, at the house. But I was a little more wet behind the ears, breastfeeding like Similac. I said that a few times, but I love my Martin references. Started at the house. My brother, I really wanted to get into screen printing, bro. And my brother, who is still the president at Holly Park Little League baseball, they needed uniforms. And I was like, look, dude, I'll do the uniforms for you. Just buy the machine for me. He like, I'm like, for real, bro, I got you. And to this day, he was just doing uniforms. They had opening day. I think it was today. I missed it because I was doing a rush order. They had opening day today. He was doing last minute numbers and names on the back of hoodies and stuff. So all through the journey, that's been consistent. But I can say that's where I got my start. My big bro investing in a 4-color screen print machine, one station. I didn't even have like a conveyor dryer or nothing. I just had a flash dryer. And him and my sister still laugh because I took all their t-shirts. Every shirt in the house that had a blank side, I printed on it. Didn't matter if it was new, old, if they wore it like a couple times, it looked like they wasn't wearing it for a couple of days. I took that motherfucker, I stuck it on it. But now they get every shirt, every shirt that they see that they like, they get it first, you know what I mean? So that's the payoff now that they get, whatever the fuck they want. I mean, they get whatever they want. So that's pretty much the basis of the start right there. I always wanted to be able to sell my art. You asked about the painting. I got a bunch of paintings in the garage and stuff. Like I've always been arts and crafts, drawing, just like into that part of it. But I always wanted to be somebody who could like benefit from it, not like when I'm not here, or people had that respect for it, like, oh, he was good when he was not here. I wanted to figure out a medium where I could sell my art and like be able to maintain a lifestyle from it, like design my own lifestyle from it. And clothes I've always been into fashion. I've always loved what I wore. And I was like, man, maybe I could sell it to kids. And that was like the basic idea. It's like if I could take my style and sell it to kids, like with my taste of art, with my twist on it, I think I could fare out pretty well. My pops was a postman for 30 years, my whole life. And he made maybe about 40,000-50,000 a year. So he always told me, like, you could work in the PO, go to college. But I was like, look, Dad, if I can make what you made doing this, then I feel like I fare well. Like,
man, the postman's been working hard.
And I never struggled. Like, I don't remember ever, going without. So I'm like, if I can fare well for my kids and my family, doing for myself what they did for you. And the real motivation was when he retired, which was recently, they gave him like a pen, like, oh, thanks for 30 years. It was like a pen I can make in China, like Manila folder. And I was like, but Dad, you ain't never missed a day. Never called out sick. Like, to my knowledge, I can't remember him calling out sick or missing a day. Wow. And that's what you got for 30 years. I'm like, if I could do that for myself for 30 years, I think I could fare pretty well. Like, a little more than a penny in a folder. So that was like the last motivation I needed to be like, all right, I'm going to just dive in. And he's always been like, look, school going to be there. It ain't going nowhere. So if all else fails, you can go back and do that. So go for what you know. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So you started as an artist then, and then ventured off into clothes.
Yeah. So it was more so just drawing and painting and stuff like that. And then, I mean, even in high school, my buddy is sitting right here, and he could tell you we used to go down to Fairfax and Melrose and pick up patches and different stuff like that and make shirts.
2000,
yeah.
7 or what?
This is like 04, 03. People all the time.
Dutch.
I'm seeing all the track.
That's still like, like a
Teenage Millionaire, all that stuff that was popping back here. So,
Sporty LA
Millionaire.
kind of switched up because I know, like in '04, it was like a place to be if you had the dough and the motion.
You had to.
Like now, it's like that shit watered down.
I was just on TikTok live today while I was praying, and a dude from Vegas was like, "Man, he wanted me to come on his podcast, and he was like, can we talk about Fairfax? Because I remember not being from LA, you had to go to Fairfax.
Right.
You had to roll through there and just see what, even if it wasn't mine,
It was like the place
you had to
be,
feel it.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm on Fairfax. Even if you went to Fairfax High School, that was a big motion. You know what I'm saying?
That was like Vegas because you was right there. You got out of school. In the there, like, man. God. So that shit was huge, bro. And that had a big influence on me, just seeing, on our styles, because we would go to school and our biggest thing was how can we have something exclusive? And being at Sporty LA, you can get a pair of fans.
Motion, bro.
Yeah. You can get some fans, you can get some Adidas, you can get something that somebody else don't have because they tucked off in the corner on the shelf up there. They just happen to have a 9.5 or a 12.5. And you're like, I'm about to kill them.
No, God.
Nobody got
crazy part is that same spot is like, you got Shoe Palace and Foot Locker across the street.
Yeah.
Like, and it took away from Sporty LA. Like, the Sporty LA was like the heart, low key.
That's what the gyms was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, oh, you walking that motherfucker? It's like, this is the place to be. You've been there.
Of course.
And it's clear, right?
Yeah. And we had the vintage shirts down there. We used to buy the patches and iron them on the security shirts. Like, we were customizing shirt, but we weren't selling stuff yet. But we knew we had the eye for like stuff because people would be like, oh, where you got that? Where you got that? Where you got that? It's like, oh, we made that. And we're like, oh, shit. Like, that's where the light bulbs start going off. Like, hey, people, shortly after, that's when we started trying to sell.
That's real shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ask your question. You
That's funny.
It's a big deal.
But you know what? To pick it up on the back end, like, Jet Fresh is really like a thing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, for
Meg the Stallion, everybody wearing like Chris Brown.
Y'all already working, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, even me being a barber, and it's like I see cats pull up, or even just randomly post it.
Yeah,
like, yo, that's mad because like I just was peeping at the Easy E one.
Yeah,
with the D pause with the tiger stripe and the D. That's player, bro.
Yeah,
that was player.
Yeah,
y'all did your shit on that.
Yeah, and I love that you noticed that part.
Big deal.
I love that you noticed that part because people will just take it and be like, oh, y'all just putting faces on the front of the shirt. But it's like the nuances and the details and the back is like more specific where we take our time to like really try to make it relate and customize it and like put little details in there to show. Like, if you catch it, it could be subtle, but if you catch it, then it's like that extra layer in the art where it's like, damn, bro, I didn't even see that at first. That's hard.
Now, question. I don't know if anybody else knows. Like, I was always questioning it. Is it, is it everybody on the shirt that have passed on?
No, that's that people have said that.
Because she brought that up too. Yeah, like,
no, because it's like, you got Michael Jordan on there, you got different ones where exactly. Like people that passed on. Like, the first capsule collection was the '86, because we were born in '86. So
okay.
And it ties back to like
who is we? You said we.
Me and my buddy Snacks, and then my buddy T Lee. Like, majority of my friends are born in 1986. Mm-hmm. Like, my 20+ years friends, and I got a few sprinkled around like a couple years before, a couple years after. But '86 was significant to us, so I rolled with it just to like. Originally to try to highlight our website in the beginning because it started on Tumblr, so it was a blog.
Yeah. I remember Tumblr.
Attached to a Shopify. Not Shopify, a big cartel.
Yeah. Y'all really went in and y'all strategically placed y'all motion, bro.
Yeah, because it started because it was back when like a lot of people weren't like. I'll be honest, it's been through a lot of ebbs and flows where I was discouraged because I've seen a lot of brands be where I want to be. but me not have the knowledge to get there, and I just felt discouraged by it because it's been so long.
Right.
So I just wanted to give up a lot of times, but it's just been little wins along the way that have kept me going. But
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I was gonna say, tell us a little bit about your journey, like how you started, how you got to where you are now.
one of the biggest stories on my I'm going through on my TikTok now is is my journey through Portugal, because that's where I was gonna go with the '86 collection on Tumblr,
bro.
On Tumblr, that's where we started, but I coded that part of the website sleeping on my cousin's couch in Portugal. So I just couldn't sleep. He had his computer connected to his TV, so I was just like, you know what? I'm here to work on my business. I'm gonna just start the website. That's the least I could do. And I wanted something that could stick out. So I made the '86 collage just so the Tumblr could stick out so people could want to shop.
Right.
And then fast forward, our mentor, Harold, taught us to tell stories with the brand.
Yeah.
So that's where you guys get those people on the front of those shirts, because we just took each person out of the '86 collage that I used in Portugal and highlighted them on the front with the collage on the back, just to be able to tell the Portugal story. Like somebody say, "Oh, what's this shirt about?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I started the brand in Portugal. I was sleeping on my cousin's couch. I was on a one-way trip. Boom, boom, boom." And that's kind of how we tie, authentic stories into the brand. It's not necessarily just being dead people on the shirt. It may just be an inspiration where, like the Eagles Kobe shirt we did. Actually, a customer sent that to me. He had it already designed and everything, and I just designed the back. And I was like, my sister and my nephew are Eagles fans, and I was so hesitant to do an Eagles shirt because I'm not.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna be a hater. I'm gonna just do it for me.
That's hard.
I heard me trying to wiggle a brand to play on. I mean, it's real facts. Like, oh God, like that's player. Like, yeah, dog. And then that's like a big oversized shirt wearing ass nigga, and that's what it is. Like, y'all enhance that. Like, I mean, I'm a big nigga, so my shit gotta be. Oh, it ain't gonna look oversized on me. No, fuck with you.
No,
But the concept of like a successful individual, you got your own motion, you running your own program, and to collab with that, like that's a big. I think that's a big deal because of the community concept.
Yeah,
For real.
It's all about brotherhood. So like, I rock with Johnny and Snacks heavy. So I will always support them, and I know they always support me as well. So if I can have that opportunity to collab with them, that's off top. We got to make it happen.
And they already know what looks good.
Yeah, I ain't got to put nothing on y'all.
Yeah, like, pick it up, right?
Right. Look, put burger on the motherfucker. Ain't no capping the hat. You can't miss keeping the hat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the fisherman hat, dad hat, 5 panels, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think that's player gang.
It's really interesting,
man.
Oh, I mean, we've been working on it.
So, hey,
I'm trying to. I can't announce what we're doing. But
Yeah. So you talked a little bit about Portugal. What made you go to Portugal? Was it just like a random trip, a sabbatical?
Well, it wasn't so random. I have my mom's family is from Cape Verde, West Africa. But they migrated to Portugal, so a lot of them are there.
That's fine.
And I always heard stories about like my family there, and I just wanted to was interested to find out more.
Yeah.
And I also had I was in a place at that time where I think in like 2 or 3 years I had worked like 19 different jobs. Like I could get a job, but I didn't really want one.
Right.
I just get it and quit.
So ready to focus on,
Exactly. And then I was doing acting and modeling at the time too. So in 2011 I got my first commercial, and I just thought like it will always be like that because it was like my first audition. I booked it. I got the commercial. I'm like, oh, this is gonna go like this all the time.
Right.
And then it was like a whole year where I didn't get anything. So I was kind of depressed from that. I didn't know what I was doing with the closing in. I didn't have any knowledge, and I just felt like stuck in a place where, like, damn, I know what I want to do, but I don't have it figured out. And I read The Alchemist. I read that book, and I read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, which is like my #1 recommended book if y'all could read them. Those 2 books kind of pushed me to be like, look, dude, just take a trip. and figure it out. Go do your business plan. And that was my goal, to meet my family and, work on my fashion business plan. And I figured like once I started in Spain just because I hadn't made contact with my family. But I figured once I got to Portugal, I would have done my business plan. I felt like I would have finished my goals, right? And that was just like the motivation to go, was to like really get away from myself really here being stuck, and just put myself in a different environment where I can like just motivate myself to focus.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. She was saying like um that you were really big on manifestation and putting things in position to help you grow, like,
Yeah.
your mindset. And I was telling her, because, as you coming on, we want to study and learn about the guests before they come on the show.
I appreciate
And,
that.
I'm saying it was a big deal. She brought it up. She was like, he's really big on that. And I'm like, is that part of you? Like, what do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, for that same trip, or even before then, but that one really hammered it home for me. I would do vision boards, like my wife and I, we do them every year, just to try to bring about new goals. And I did a vision board for that trip where I picked out a landmark in Portugal that I had never seen. I put a $10,000 check because I had never made that much in my life. And I just put different stuff. Yeah. And it was crazy because during that trip, my cousin took me to that landmark without knowing it. And that was a big deal for me because he kind of had a moment where he's like, I'm going to just leave you alone and let you like take this in. I'm just like, damn. That's weird because I didn't even tell you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And then he brought it to my attention. He was like, "Do you believe in omens?" And I'm like, "Can you explain?" He was like, "Signs of good things to come." And I said, "Yeah, for sure." He was like, "Well, this landmark is on a dock, a boat dock, and it's called Doca du Bom Sucesso, which in English is the dock of great success." So he was like, "Just let that sink in." So that was after me like losing my wallet, getting lost in Barcelona, like all of this stuff. That was the end of my trip. So to have that happen at the end, it was like a big deal. Like, damn, after all of that, I still ended up being able to achieve my goals. I just didn't know what came before that.
Right.
So it just gave me the motivation to always be like, you never know what comes before you actually reaching your goal. Like, that's where I got out of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. That's the summary of his book. It's like, if you know your why, you can deal with any how. And that was that moment for me where it was like, oh shit.
That's crazy that you just saying that.
That moment right there was like not only the vision board, but that quote just came to life for me in like real time, because it was like I knew my why, but how I got here I couldn't even told you.
Cheers to it, dog. Cheers fucking to it, dog.
That's fire because for one, I've heard that from my mentor, and that nigga said it like it was his. So
That's real. That's real.
That's my mentor, Greg, but that was crazy.
That's the definition of logotherapy. That's his like therapy that he came with, Viktor Frankl. Logotherapy is like, your why, you can do it if you have.
That's dope.
And I just feel like that's so powerful for you.
Next tattoo.
For any passion, anything you got going on, it's like, why you want to do it. It's gonna be so many people. Like people told me going there, they pickpocket people, they rob people, and and I'm like,
try to discourage you.
If I let everything stop me from going, I'm gonna never have on
the airplanes too.
Yeah.
Then she was talking about the airplane. She was like, there was all this shit crashing and stuff, right? And she's like, he's a scare tactic. I said, well, they gonna scare the fuck out of me. Because
I still got places to go.
Okay.
Wow. Don't manifest that.
But then, man, I would say vision boards are like, for me at least, because the 10,000 happened,
It happened that year? Or that around that time?
It happened like shortly after that, because I ended up booking another commercial.
Yeah.
And then, like, it ended up like being like, okay.
It worked.
So it's like, yeah.
I'm a huge advocate for like writing down everything. I remember when I first started, I was like, I'm gonna quit my 9 to 5. Literally that year, the end of the year, I was out of there.
Yeah.
And like so many different things, but it's the power of the pen to the paper, and like actually visualizing what you want and like what you want to accomplish, and that's how it comes to fruition. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with this being about manifestations, is it more so seeing is believing prior to the manifestation?
You have to live in the 5D.
Yeah.
Huh?
Whoa.
You gotta live in the 5D.
Explain that.
Say what I say.
So what we're living in currently is 3D.
Okay.
So it's so much deeper. Okay, so
Die.
so what we're living in now is 3D, but you gotta live in the 5D, which is your next phase in life, right? So you can't live in the current because the current is what you thought about in the past. So the current, you have to think about what you want to be in the future and live that. So that's a part of manifestation. So like if you say like, oh, I want to make 6 figures, whatever your goal is, it could be anything, right? You have to live as if it's already present, and then you're gonna get to it. It's just a matter of time to when you get to it.
So you have to be delusional.
You have to be delusional.
Like, you gotta be delusional.
You have to be.
The Lulu
Whoa!
the Lulu factors into faking it till you make it, or
I wouldn't call it faking it, because if you faking it, then you already have that preconception that
that's
that's
not
not
really gonna happen.
Yeah.
But also, I feel that if an individual is thinking that way, they're already on the path of being successful.
Right.
You know, like, so
Because
they're
you're living
there.
in your 5D.
So I don't think it'll be
It's
like,
not.
you know, it's like, yeah, it's not fake, it's real. We're just moving in the right direction.
Right, exactly.
And then the next step would be me.
On your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your own path, exactly. But you have to know that it's gonna happen. Like there can't be a shadow of doubt in your mind that it's gonna happen. You have to already live in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in your mind, like I'm already in my mansion. I'm already in this.
Yeah, man. I mean, even with you and your life and your success and your, I mean, marriage, you know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you manifest that? Did you speak that into existence? How'd you go about it?
Oh yeah. So shout out to my wife. We've been friends and neighbors since we were 11 years old. We literally grew up next door.
Dog.
So, for
Wait,
sure.
did you guys know each other when you were neighbors?
Yeah, we literally
Oh.
would.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, you know, because some neighbors you don't talk to.
No, we're literally next door neighbors. Like I walk out, my mom's house, her parents' house is next door. So
That's dope.
and we live on a cul-de-sac. So.
So y'all
Cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
Cul-de-sacs got everybody in trouble.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So definitely because we
stinking and freaking and everything at a young age.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but even still, I'll be honest and real. We've had ebbs and flows in our relationship too. So, like, I had to manifest that coming back too, because after we had our first daughter, we had a break, and like I just being out in the world, I realized like I wasn't happy. Like I was depressed. I ended up going to therapy for the first time.
Hey man,
Wow.
therapy, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Please.
Therapy, let people know that's a big deal.
No, that was huge for me because I didn't really feel like I needed it. Like she would honestly bring it up a lot of times. I'm like, I don't need that shit. Like, you know, I was going off.
Yeah.
But after that, it was really hard for me to like feel my self-esteem and my confidence, like my belief in myself, like it was really broken. So I just needed something to pick me up, like somebody I could listen to or talk to that was biased, that can tell me like, all right, you're not a bad person.
Right.
You know, like you just going through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I just really needed to hear that from somebody who wasn't my family, like who would be expected to tell me that. You know, it's like, you're supposed to be on my side. Like,
Right.
I want to tell somebody like, look, this is the real. I don't need you to be tell me I'm a good person, or you know, or just tell me I'm right or wrong, but just let me know I'm not crazy.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
And that helped me a lot. Like,
She was always the one.
it was always on my mind. Like it just wasn't helping. Like I just realized I was trying to fill a void. I was trying to run from something instead of fix it. You know?
Right.
That was the best love you probably ever met, had, or engaged in.
Absolutely, it still is, because we can still work through things and laugh through things, and you know, whether it be good or bad, we still able to make each other laugh and push through it.
That's dope.
So I know I got a lifetime partner.
Oh,
and
that's dope, dog.
who helps me like in my face too. You know what I mean? She's had, you know, reading the Bible and stuff like that. So she's got me like wanting to read it and starting to read it from start to finish for the first time. So I just lean on her heavy as a like foundation for my faith too. So she's strong in that in that way. So manifesting her back into my life took like me working on myself, doing the therapy, you know, working at the homie restaurant so I can have some cash flow coming in while I figure myself out.
You was working at Home Burger job.
No, I was working. I was working at the homie Marchand, Grill Fresh, the homie Pete.
Oh, Grill Fresh, my boy.
Yeah,
shout out Grill Fresh.
Yeah.
And that was in what 2016?
Yeah, 16.
Okay.
I was like, man,
because that's when he first opened.
Yeah, well, I was there like 18 because
Okay.
I was there for about a year, and then I got a shout out to me and my oldest daughter got a commercial, and that's what got me out of there.
That's
like
nice.
into what I'm doing now. Like I haven't been back to anything else. Well, I lied. We worked at Snapchat, and then we got fired. wait. I was the last.
You gotta hear why y'all got fired from Snapchat.
No, we didn't get fired.
Fired is crazy.
We were doing trust and safety at Snapchat, so we had to watch like violation videos, like people getting killed, people stabbing people, doing all kind of crazy smoking drugs. Like, so we were just like taking those videos down.
Check it out.
And we just, I guess they were done with our services. They had told us to come in and
How
we
you advanced to work at Snapchat? That's crazy.
Well, I worked at
because there was like
I worked at MySpace.
That's wow.
I worked at MySpace and I forgot what year that was. Maybe like
That's
something.
crazy.
I worked at
My job at Snapchat is crazy.
So my old supervisor at MySpace, I saw her at a listening party for the homegirl. Shout out her, Kelly 47. LK 47. And I saw her at a listening party. I'm like, oh, what you been doing? She said, I work at Snapchat. I'm like, plug me in. That's literally how I
It's who you know.
And then I got the job. I got the homie the job.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Amen. Amen. But how we got fired was they called us here and they did a whole updated our healthcare packs or all this stuff.
Hey, look. They hit him with the. They got me. Go to the back.
Next
week, something.
The next week, I promise you, that's why he laughing. The very next week after they hyped us up about employee incentives, all of that, they lined us all up. It was like, y'all out of here.
You and you. Everybody else go back to work.
The whole department.
Come with us.
No. The whole everybody.
God.
Everybody.
That's crazy.
And our whole floor.
That's wow. And that created you to just chase your dream.
We stood in the parking lot. And
trying to figure
it out. I said to him, I looked at him, I said, bro, this will never happen to me again. I promise you. I looked him in the face, I said, bro, this will never, ever. I promise you I don't know what I'm going to do, but this will never happen to me again. And I haven't worked since then.
Hey, man.
That's what needed to happen. Manifest that, right?
That's dope. I'm proud of you, man. I just barely met you, but man, I followed your whole hustle, man, because I like the clothesline. Like when I seen, shout out to Chris Breezy, man. You know what I'm saying? Great dude.
Man,
Chef Chris Brown couldn't be here, but
next time.
For sure. I've seen bro post yours, but before that, my boy Mr. Fries. Shout out to Mr. Fries too.
Yeah, shout out to me,
Chris. My dog. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people wiggle around in your apparel, and and your whole group's apparel. Like that's a dope team, bro, to really come up with a plan and put it on a.
Bring it to fruition.
Dreads, dog. They have people putting it on like,
like.
That's a big deal, bro. So
thank you, bro.
That's man. Look, shout out.
All I can say is thank you because I can just think of all like what it came with. So thank you.
Man, you did it. You wiggled out the hustle, the mud, the grind, and you created yourself to grow and your team pushed you and you pushed your team.
Absolutely.
So it's not never just one individual that puts you in that position and feel like we winning. It's always a team. You look at a dude and you be like, oh yeah, I did it myself. Nah, man, like
it's not true. It's never true.
It's never true.
Nah.
Ain't nobody
because it's just somebody got to keep you sharp. Like even right now, I was gonna wear my Meta glasses, and he's like, "Bro, you gonna promote Meta?" So it's just
Right.
you're right. Let me put my. So it's just somebody to keep you sharp, you know.
Yeah,
It's like
your backbone.
just like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just shooting from the hip.
Right.
When I got there, he like, I mean, you got the hunger, but you don't know what you're doing. I don't have the time to teach you, but you can stay here and learn. But if you fuck something up, you gotta pay for it.
Right.
I'm like, bro, what time do I show that?
I'm not finna fall.
And then YouTube University.
You gotta keep right out, nigga. You gonna have to keep me out.
Yeah.
And he literally, that's what like got me into the full motion of just like production because I had a full facility where I could learn everything, how to make a screen, how to print. He had automatics, he had everything there, but he just like, you got to figure it out.
But
So I'm just in there
crazy
shooting.
is, I would never know because when we pulled up, I'm talking about you as yeah. Like I got you.
Cause you got y'all got me by the time you pulled up. I was like, that was right after I left his shop. Because I was working there and I did end up fucking something up. It was this water pressure machine.
Talk your shit.
And I'm like,
talk your fool.
I gotta buy it. I said I'm gonna buy it. I went and bought the water pressure machine. So I'm sitting there mad, like, damn, I really gotta buy it. And I think it was gonna break anyway. But I'm like, what you gonna do with the old one?
Right.
And he's like, I'm gonna throw it away.
Right.
I said, no, give me the old one.
Yeah.
I put it in the box. I took it back to Home Depot. I'm doing it, bro. And they returned it and gave me a brand new one. So I got to pay for one.
Hey, God gave you a finesse blessing.
So that's when the light went off. That's when the light went off because I was like, oh shit, I'm going to just start taking pictures of everything. My brother know how to build shit. I said, I can turn my garage into my own shop. So that's you. When you pulled up, you called me after I got finished building everything because I was like, look, big bro, I'm going to take a picture of everything, but I need a dark room right here so I can put this machine. I need a water thing right here. I need this. And he built all that shit out. I just bought it piece by piece. And he started charging me at his shop because I had people. We did the uniforms for like Sierra Canyon when Bronny and them went to China and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
I did the uniforms and stuff for that. So he started seeing Nike reps come through and stuff. He's like, okay. You figuring this shit out? Hey, you seem to know a few people, like So he started charging me an hour, like you know, 30 an hour, 40 an hour. So I'm like, okay, charging me. So that's what really got me like, I'm gonna just build my own shit because I kind of got it now. Yeah. And then boom, you pulled up shortly after that. Cause I had all the equipment. I'm like, all right, now I just gotta take shots. I gotta make stuff. And that's where the Kobe port that first Kobe shirt, the Fanny Hardaway, I was just in there trying to figure out
everything,
how to make shirts, for how to screen print.
Crazy.
Yeah, so thank you because you was just supporting me learning.
I started to wait up. Like, on the way
You was paying.
I mean, where did the idea stem from, gang?
Like what?
Like just the D and the concept. Bro, I mean, we're not trying to spill your.
It came from Young Joe. Me and him was heavy on T.I. at the time. We was listening to it, and he put out the album, but it had albums used to come with snippets in it of like the next thing that come from the label.
Right.
And they had a Young Joe snippet in there.
All right.
And we listened to one of the songs, and he said, "Damn fresh." So it be like, "Damn, it's a mannequin." And we just looked at each other like,
and it clicked.
And it was like, "Oh shit, the mannequins were the freshest stuff all the time because that's what people want to buy."
Yeah.
And we like, well, we can be like a crew of mannequins if we the Dead Fresh crew. And that was literally like.
So it started as a crew.
It was just,
it started as clothing.
It just started as us being like, we gonna be a crew of fresh people because like the mannequins is the freshest people. So we gonna be the Dead Fresh crew. And then it just came into like, let's put it on something so we can represent it. And we used to only put it on our shirts on the back. But it had this logo that I had tattooed on my hand because the clothing line was Brainstorm at first. So we used to print computer transfers we got from Costco out on the home printer, iron them onto the shirt, put Dead Fresh Crew in the back, only on ours.
That's dope.
People started asking for it. They started asking for the shirt. So we like, yeah, you can have one, but it can't have Dead Fresh on the back.
The Kobe shirt got that.
No, yours. I'm talking. This is Earth. This
like
is high school. No, this ain't even high school. This is like
the thought dropped.
It's like 06, 07.
Yeah.
This is like shortly after high school where we saying like we had been making our stuff in high school, but now we're going into like making our own shirts and branding stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So we just doing it at home, getting transfers from Costco, printing, ironing it on.
Oh.
But the shirts would fuck up. So we like, yo, you could buy the shirt. It's not gonna say Dead Fresh, but we'll give you 2 shirts. Because when you watch it, it's gonna fuck up.
What was you putting on it other than Dead Fresh? Like just
this brainstorm logo, this cloud and crossbone logo. Because we was like influenced by Johnny Cupcakes, by BBC Ice Cream, like everybody was using
the Melrose Fairfax motion.
That is
Hype beats level up. And I was trying to explain to you.
Exactly.
Remember, I was trying to tell her what hype beats was.
Yeah.
She didn't know what hype beats were. Hype beats is like the concept of a young bull get their credit card from their mama or a rich parent and bust it down and just
you just buy all the hyped up stuff. So you would go get Panda Dunks. You would go get like you just gonna go buy all the stuff like when you go to school.
And you're not spending your money though. You're spending your mama money. Like that was hype beats.
Yeah.
That's hype beats for sure.
So we were definitely like I was trying to be super on trend with the crossbone. Like it had to have crossbones and I was just stuck on that. So that's what we was hammering home that logo. And then people started saying to Craig and certain homies like, bro, I want the Dead Fresh. And we went through a moment where Brainstorm, we were really getting serious. And the name Brainstorm was trademarked in like Germany or something for clothes. So we like, damn, we don't want to use it if somebody already has it somewhere. So we got to figure something else out. And me just being like hard-headed, I came up with, Juice Box Clothing, Snacks and J, Dillbirds, Notebook. I just came up with a whole bunch of bullshit, really. And Snacks was like, why we just don't use Dead Fresh Crew? And I'm like, bro, that don't sound like a clothing line. Like, it don't sound like a clothing line.
It sounded like motion.
So I just didn't use it for a long time. And then eventually it was like, all right, this is the only name that really makes sense. So we should use it. Credit to Snacks.
Respectfully. I want to know
that,
like,
but people miss that part. They're just like, oh, bro, it's like, bro, I still gotta do regular. You know what I mean? I gotta take myself up during the day too and be like, all right, go in here and do this work, do this job, do this, get it done on time. Damn, do I feel like doing it? Not really, but get your ass up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Because if somebody was telling me I had to come into work and to do that, I would do that shit. So it's like, have that motivation and do it for yourself.
Somebody told me, they said, you got to be tired enough to get up.
Bro,
you got to be tired enough to get up. Not energized enough. You have to be tired enough to get up.
You got to keep getting up.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Did you guys take like therapy together?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I learned a lot actually. No, we took it. Well, we took a wedding counseling before we got married. We went to Faithful Central and did like it was like a 3-month course or something that we had to graduate from before we got married. Mm-hmm. And then the guy who graduated us ended up being our wedding aficionado. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. And then after that, we needed more therapy because she felt like there was always something, at least in me, that I was like holding on to that I didn't express. And there was, and we were trying to work through just communication and different things like that, like ways we could work through where we have different disputes or disagreements, communication, in the wedding counseling class, you learn about, you got to talk about all kind of shit. Like, what happens if one of your kids pass away? How would you react to that? Like, it goes deep. How do your parents perceive you? How does your mom perceive you? Your dad? What's your like? We were neighbors, but we had conversations with each other that we never had. Right. So it was just like, damn, we known each other our whole lives and we never had these conversations. Right. So that was a big deal for us to be able to peel back those layers. And I ended up finding out for me, it was a big deal just to find out a lot of truths in my life
about yourself
were hard to deal with, but they were hard conversations I had to have with my family.
Else too.
Absolutely. But they were like ones that once I had it, I realized like it's not the worst case scenario. Yes, it was hard, but there was love on that.
It's just scary in the beginning.
Oh, it was scary shit. Like,
for real. Like, I believe it, dog. You know, like, I think it's like more of a shaky situation. I've never been through marriage, but I can imagine how the concept you would look in the past, like, I gotta let go of all this.
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
I had a
but
lot
when
of
you
fun.
know, you know.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun for sure because, like, I just be honest. I was raised where my mom dropped me off to college, and she was like, "Well, you don't know what you like unless you try it."
Amen.
I was like, "Word."
Say that.
So, like,
Run through the whole college right now.
with that mentality, I definitely had fun. That mentality, you go. I'm 17 years old. My one of my other best friends, Jason, is not. I mean, he's my roommate. So we go to UNLV and we roommates. We in a co-ed dorm, all grades.
Oh, UNLV, y'all was going nuts.
So it was just
Y'all was going nuts.
we was having
It was
fun
either the
that
street
day.
college or the casino.
We was having fun that day. We could you buying us.
Yeah.
Just yeah. I'm just like shit. I'm about to do the same. So just moments like that where I know, like, all right, we could do something just for both of us to be able to just take the responsibilities off for a second, or just go out to dinner and do stuff like that. Now, mind you, like I said, I got to get better at that and try to be more consistent in doing it. But I feel like that's been one of the better ways. And then personally, my favorite that's been like our most exciting conversations lately are like she's been reading her Bible, so she's almost done, which has been motivating me to get through mine. But we talk about, the different stuff. Like she may come across a verse or something about Anunnakis or something like that, and we just talk through it because she may have a different perspective than I have. And I just been telling her like those be really
Boy, you got
favorite
a praying woman.
She be having me like
Yeah.
thinking like just different ways. I read it and then I'm like, damn, I didn't even think about it that way. Like now she got me reading it over to like look at it in a different way because I just feel like I learned something different. So it's been those like types of conversations and just like really sticking with it because she's an entrepreneur too. Shout out to her. Her name's Salima. Her business is Bath Notes, so shop Bath Notes if y'all can. And she's been working hard getting her stuff in J.C. Penney's, auditioning for different shows. She got a few different other stores that carries her stuff, so she's grinding too. And a lot of times, people don't see that, so it can be discouraging. And she has those days too, where she feels like maybe it's slow, or she getting discouraged by just like putting in the work and people not seeing that behind the scenes stuff. They just thinking like, oh, you maybe need to go get a job or maybe this or maybe that. And she's really having that faith in what she's doing. So just really being there to encourage her in those times because to have that excitement, like I want to see her be happy in what she's doing too. So the blessing is that I can go to my home and print t-shirts. And now before I went to Barcelona, I met just a random white dude on the beach. He was like, he told me a quote like, "If you build a better mousetrap, you catch more mice." So in his short way, he was saying, don't feel like you running away to try to go invent the wheel. Like what you have at home, just make the trap better.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing this whole time. Just like all I gotta do is just make the trap better. And people, that is my best friend because I've had my most vulnerable conversations with her. Like literally,
Transparent.
stuff I wouldn't tell
Back
people. Like,
over all type of crazy shit, bro.
vulnerable conversations.
There's nothing you can hide from her
At all.
At
so
all.
those are the things where it's just like that's my dog. Like she's really helped me through times where I really just wanted to quit. Mind you, also had snacks and my other friend Jason and just other people there, but really she's always that first line of defense that I go to and just like work through those vulnerabilities. So it's been great having that there. And that's what brings back that excitement because encouraging her to go and do her stuff while I can be able to hold it down and do my stuff and we don't have to like our lifestyle don't have to change too drastically. That gives her the courage to be like, okay, I still got time to go chase my dream too. Although that's not easy because it comes with like maybe I motivated her, but I'm motivating her in a way like my big brother motivated me. And she feels like I'm being a little aggressive or I'm like not really understanding because she's a female. And I'm like, damn, I just feel like I'm giving you the same pep talks that I've always been given. So it's making me stop and have to realize and be like, damn, I got to change my approach a little bit because what I'm thinking is motivating is not really helping. I'm just really trying to be a provider and like, look, I'm making sure everything is good. Like you can chase your dream, but there's more to it. Like it's not just that. So I'm constantly having to learn and just like, but I only have to your point, I only have to do that with one woman. So I'm not stressing out over having to try to figure out. And I tried that when I was young. I don't, figure it out. Okay, I'm doing it with this woman, but when she leaves, I need her to leave now or because she on the way. It's a big deal. So the hard part is not being the provider part because I love what I do. So it's not hard for me to get up at 3:30 and finish a rush order because I love it and I get compensated for my time now because people see me as a pro. But that time that they're compensating me for is time away from my family. So today on Saturdays, my wife has been a big advocate of me taking time off. So I started taking Saturdays off. But I work today because we need to do that in our circumstances now. I need to pick up some more work. So I'm like, I'm not going to turn down any extra work because they're bringing it. It's coming to me. I don't have to go get it. So when somebody says, "Oh, I need a rush order," okay, bro, it's going to be $200 just for me to even start on it. That's not counting what I'm gonna charge you for. So if you gonna pay me that, you bust your shit. If you gonna pay out 3,000, 4,000, if you gonna pay me on the off day, you gonna pay me my off day rate, then I'll go in there and do it. So I was up at 3:30 finishing a rush order today, but it was opening day for my little one. She started T-ball. She's a mascot. Dope. Shout out to T-ball. Yeah, ball. My brother put her on the team as a mascot because she's not old enough. I still wanted to be there for opening day, but it's like I gotta make a decision to provide for the family as opposed to be there. So those are the times where it's like providing isn't hard because the opportunity is there, but that time I can't get back. Sure, not being at opening day. But it's either I'll be there or I'll be able to make sure that we can maintain food. But she knows for sure.
Sacrifice, yeah.
But that's a part of having a good mate because she knows and she's willing to do that, knowing that she still has stuff she has to do too. So we have to figure out ways to balance that. And the blessing is that I don't have a boss. So at any time where she needs me to stop and do something, I may not want to do it. You know what I mean? I can accommodate and make it happen. Yeah. So it takes me learning to like put myself to the side a lot of times when I'm in that tunnel vision mode to stop and be like, it's okay to take 10 minutes or 20 minutes and, check your attitude and go do that. It's not going to end the world.
Right. Well, that's the beauty of like partnership because where you may have 20% that day, she got the 80%, and vice versa. So that's that dynamic that's beautiful about it.
And it's constantly working on that too because what's understood is not always like put to action. So that's in my terms and in her. Anybody, you know what I mean? So we can know that, but putting that to action is not always the case because you go through your own emotional stuff or it may be something in the business. It may just be anything to have you off that day.
Yeah.
And you may come out on your partner and then now you have a situation where, at least in my case, when we're not on good terms, I don't work well. Like I may go to work, but I'm not functioning. I'm not functioning well. So I may be there, but I'm moving slow. I'm lethargic. I'm not thinking right. I'm not being creative. Like so, I have to stop. And I tell her a lot of times, like, yeah, you think I'm just out functioning in the world, but I have to come back and make it right because if I don't feel like we're on good terms, I'm not functioning well. I'm not being my best self out in the world. So that at home has to be right, or otherwise I'm not operating right. I'm out fussy. I'm open. Homie, like, what's good, bro? It's just like, I'm doing long text messages and stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out while I'm at work. It's going and let's have a conversation for 20 minutes. Yeah. I hear what you gotta say. You hear what I gotta say. And then I can go to work and be myself.
That's amazing. Shout out to you, Johnny. Snacks, thanks for coming. This last segment of our show is where we do no matter what, fill in the blank. So I'm going to kick this thing off. No matter what, I want to continue to show up as my best self. And whether I'm tired, because usually that's what it is. Whether I'm tired or feeling down or whatever, I still want to represent my best self at all times. There you go. What you got?
Honestly, no matter what, I want to keep growing, elevating, believing in my peers, believing in everyone that I want to see do great. Because I always say, when y'all win, I win. And so it might be some slow days, some fast days, but at the end of the day
Go. No matter what, I will continue to push through, push forward, being my best self as best as I can, and growing. V.
No matter what, I'm continuously rocking that dead fresh.
Come on.
Amen.
Come on, man. Come on.
Can't wait
Just
for
how to show.
my back, right? My Letterman jacket.
Letterman jacket.
That's this.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you, John.
No matter what, I'm gonna take part of my prayer and say I want to continue to be the lighthouse and not the battleship.
That was deep.
That
That was good.
I got another jacket.
Yeah, so I mean, that was part of what I read. Where he's like the lighthouse is stationary, and the battleship is, it's the direction to.
Amen.
And I've always felt like, damn, if I could just be the lighthouse and not the battleship.
Oh,
I'd be all right. Or the example and not the excuse. So no matter what, I'm gonna be the example and not the excuse.
Okay.
Amen. One up top.
Man, well, cheers, Johnny. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
I
you.
drunk
We
on
wish you
mine.
nothing
It's
but
cool.
success.
Yeah, fresh.
Thank you for having us. Well, thank y'all for coming here.
No, thank y'all for making me feel special, you know?
One up top.
Absolutely. Now I
It's
gotta
a
do
free